My name is Jason. Today we'll be learning how to 3D print. The first thing you need to do when learning how to 3D print is to find a printer that best suits your needs. Whether that be one that's smaller or larger, all printers come with different pros and cons. The next thing you'll want to do is to find the filament that best suits your needs. Personally, I choose to use PLA filament. It has a lower print temperature at which it burns. It's easier to use, however, one of the cons is that it's susceptible to clogging. Another filament to use is ABS. ABS is a higher temperature that it burns at. It's harder to use, but it's more durable. Another con of it is that it produces fumes when printing, so it's not the best in small spaces. The next thing you'll need is a computer and a USB drive to take your prints and put it onto the printer. Those are the essentials. Now for the supplementary items, there is adhesives like hairspray or glue. This is used to be placed on the printer bed before the print starts, and it will prevent the print from coming up off the bed during the print. Next you'll need is a chisel. This is used after the print is done. You will place it underneath the print to kind of pop it off, to remove it after the process is done. Next you'll need a sandpaper. Sandpaper is used to smooth out all the little grooves and edges that the print has made. If you look closely, when the printer is printing, it starts from the bottom and goes to the top, making layers as it goes. So on a finer level, you can feel and see small layers of the print as it went up. Sandpaper is used to smooth those out. Next thing you'll need is primer. This is used after the sandpaper process, and it will help fill in the holes. This is a process that goes over and over, sandpaper, priming, until you have a very smooth surface. And finally, you'll need some epoxy. Epoxy is used to glue prints that are multiple pieces to make one. For instance, this print is actually 5 pieces altogether, but it was the power of epoxy. It looks like one. Now, the first thing you want to do in the virtual process. The virtual process starts on the computer, and it begins with the splicing software. I recommend Cura. There's other softwares like Mesh Mixture. But the purpose of the software is to, get the print temperature, get the print speed. It's all the nitty-gritty things that go into the print before it hits the print bed. Now what you want to do is once you have the print spliced, you'll take it into an SD card, place it into the printer, and turn it on. Now this is a patient process as well because you will need to wait for the printer to warm up. This can take from 10 to 20 minutes. In that time, you'll want to take your adhesive and spray the adhesive onto the bed before it starts. You'll also want to make sure that the printer is leveled. If there's any change in the height, the nozzle may hit it and cause disruptions and problems. So once that's done, the print is off. Next up is patience. A print can take a very long time depending on how big you want it. For instance, this took about a week, while a smaller one like this cat may have taken a few hours. It all depends on patience. Just leave it in a spot that won't be disturbed and come back to it when it's done. When it's done, you'll wait for the printer to cool down and take your chisel to pop the print off the bed. Once that's done, you'll take your sandpaper and some tweezers. Now you'll take the tweezers in order to remove these supports. Supports are made when there's an overhang or when the print cannot directly go up. These are supposed to be removed and are just tossed away. Sandpaper out the blemishes and roughness, prime it over, and continue over and over until it has a smooth surface. Then take some spray paint, color it. Here's an example of what it could look like. And once you're all done, make sure to maintain your printer. By that I mean make sure you clean off the printer bed of any adhesive that was left over. Take a small metal rod, make sure that there's no filament that is clogged inside the nozzle that is cooled and been left over to ensure that there won't be any problems for the future. And if you follow these steps, you can be 3D printing like a pro. Thank you. This has been How to 3D Print. Okay. Some sources that you can get more information at include 10 basic supplies to keep in stock for 3D printing, 16 types of 3D printer filament, how to use a 3D printer step by step, 10 steps of 3D print, a beginner's guide to painting 3D prints, PLA and ABS, how to 3D print for the first time for beginners, how to 3D print beginner's guide to 3D printing, proper 3D printer maintenance, intervals, and tools needed to maintain a printer, and the 5 best ways to maintain your 3D printer. Thank you.